This is the Sneaky Dragon, and welcome to Wargroove. I'm joined here today by an Advanced Wars player and content creator. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Sneaky Dragon. This is Humita, and thank you so much for having me.
Alright, so as an Advanced Wars player, you don't know anything about Wargroove, right?
Um, the only things I know about the Wargroove is that it works somewhat similar to Advance Wars and Fire Emblem. Uh,
So this is perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through the commanders. I'm going to describe what that commander does, and then you're going to rate them. Alright, you're going to rate them in a tier list. And this is actually perfect timing because we just had a community podcast. We just had a community podcast where the some of the top players rated all of the commanders so far in Wargroove 2. And I want to see how your ratings as an Advanced Wars player compare.
okay, so I'm looking at your stream, and those guys at the bottom, those are like the commanders. Those are like COs in Advance Wars.
Exactly, right. Yeah, the,
Okay,
the
okay, okay,
commanders are exactly like the COs in Advanced Wars.
okay,
But, Wargroove is a little bit of a different game, so it'll be kind
okay.
of a little bit difficult to judge what's strong and what's weak.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun for sure.
All
I mean,
right.
should I judge them because ones have bigger biceps? Maybe they're stronger than other ones.
You can use whatever criteria you want. Let's start with the big bicep mouse. Let's start with Rhomb. So I'm gonna pull up their page on the codex.
Okay,
All
okay.
right. This is Rhomb. So what Rhomb's groove does, now like in Advanced Wars, you have a co-power and a super co-power, right?
Okay.
So in Advanced Wars, you have a groove and then a tier 2 groove, which is basically a super
Mm,
groove. So I'll just call it a super
right.
groove. Rhomb's
Okay.
regular groove will allow them to, if they haven't attacked, because remember, in Wargroove, the commander is on the battlefield. They're a unit. They're like a mega tank in the battlefield, right?
Right.
So if Rhomb has only moved but not attacked, Rhomb can activate this groove, like instead of the wait action, and
Mm-hmm.
then move again and proceed to attack with a little bit more damage. And Rhomb can
Okay.
even hit air units. So it's like your mega tank can suddenly use its main cannon on air units.
Oh.
Um,
Okay.
and then Rhomb will have increased defense until the start of the next turn.
Okay.
Rhomb's tier 2 groove, the super groove, is the exact same thing, but the damage is at +3 range, and the defense is a little bit
Oh.
more.
Wow. Is the normal range just one?
Yeah, the normal range is 1.
Okay. And just so I get it right, it's like he moves, but instead of waiting, he uses that, and then he gets to move again and attack.
Exactly. So it's like
Okay.
he
So
gets double movement on the turn he uses his groove.
right. So instead of moving like 3, he'll move like 6, and then attack with a little bit more damage, a little bit more defense. Doesn't seem very strong, honestly. Um, but I would have to see what the other ones do. So maybe like later we can do a little bit of a revision of the tiers, no?
Yeah, of course, of
Because
course.
maybe, but uh, I'd say probably like a C.
C tier. Okay.
Yes, a C tier.
Okay.
Leave a nice cap. I'm expecting some really busted ones, so I'm leaving room for that.
Yeah, no,
Oh, we'll
that's
see.
a
We'll
good
see.
strategy. That's a good strategy. Okay. Next up we have Lytra. So give me a second to go to Lytra's screen. Okay, so Lytra, what Lytra does is she will take the 4 units with a regular groove, the 4 units around her, and move
Mm.
them in a circle.
Oh,
Enemies will take a little bit of damage, like a tiny bit of damage.
oh, so it's any kind of unit. So enemy or friendly.
Yes, enemy or friendly. And if a unit lands on invalid terrain, it dies.
Oh,
Now her super
oh,
groove, what that does is instead of the 4 units around her, it's the 12 units around her. So, one
oh,
more radius to the spin.
oh, wow.
And it'll do just a tiny bit more damage to enemies. Not that much damage. But enemies affected by the spin, if, they don't land on invalid terrain and die, they're not allowed to attack next turn. They cannot take the attack action.
Oh, so the all the enemies that get switched around get stunned pretty much. They can't move next turn.
They can move, they just can't
Oh,
attack, and that's
they
only
can't
for her
attack.
super groove. That's like her super co-power, right? Not her
Right.
regular co-power doesn't do that.
Are all like for all the commanders? Is it the same cost to use the power or the superpower?
No, that's a good question. Just like in
Mm,
Advance Wars, the commanders have different charge speeds.
okay.
It's a little bit tricky to talk about the numbers, but I will say that Lytra gets her abilities more quickly than Rhomb does.
Oh, more quickly. Wow. Okay. So Lytra definitely feels stronger than Rom. It is kind of a tricky power for sure because um I don't know because it affects your own units as well.
Hmm.
But the fact that you can affect up to 12 units, you can have her at the front lines and then shift up a bunch of enemy units so that they, I mean, for once, screw up their formation. Second, like not attack next turn, and then you can also maybe reposition yours. Oh wait,
Hmm.
one question: can you choose where you're flipping the units, or is it always anti-clockwise?
Um, so you can always choose. So you can do it 90 degrees, 180 degrees, in any direction you want. Any
Oh,
iteration of 90 degrees.
oh, okay. I'm gonna put her at the tier B for now. Definitely stronger than the bicep mouse, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, for now tier B, I would say.
Okay. Okay. All right. So wait, who do we have next? Okay, pistol next. Pistol next. And no one in chat spoil. No one in chat spoil. They're an Advanced Wars player trying to figure this out. That's the gimmick. Okay, so
I'm just gonna hide the chat.
oh yeah, I should change the stream title. I should change the stream title. Can I do that from here? Um, let me see. Stream information. Let me see if I can change the stream title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no worries.
AWW player guesses Wargroove commander tier list. No spoiling it. Okay. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, so we've updated the title. We've updated the title. Okay, so Pistol. Pistol's groove unleashes Chain Lightning. And as you can see from the little picture on the stream, it'll affect allies and enemies, but it can never kill. It can never bring a unit below 10%. The
Mm.
damage falls off based on how many tiles away from the initial lightning burst to a minimum of 10%. And when she uses her tier 2 groove, it falls off to a minimum of 30%.
Well, wait. So the super is worse?
No, the
I'm
super's
confused.
better. So when she uses her regular power, it'll do 100% of pistol's damage to the first unit, and then fall
Oh,
off, fall off, fall off, fall off, fall off.
yeah.
Um, but the minimum damage it can do is 10% of her power. When she uses her
Mm.
super groove, the minimum damage it can do is 30%.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I get it. And what's the decay of the damage as it goes through the units?
that's a good question. I'm
Like,
not completely sure. Let me see. Okay, here we go. This is just wrong. I think the decay is 20% when she uses her tier 1 and 10% when she uses her tier 2.
okay. And it only affects if units are like all lined up, right? Like if they're one next to the other one.
Yes, they have to be part of the chain for the chain lightning to hit them. And Pistol herself is not part of the chain.
And does it affect friendlies as well?
Yes.
Oh, hmm. But I guess you can move them so that they don't get hit, or you could be strategic of when or how you put them to hit more enemy units.
Hmm.
Hmm. I think it would either be tier B with the other one like a higher B
Higher
or
B.
maybe an A. Um, that's interesting.
Do you want high B or A tier?
Let's let's do. I don't know. I'm undecisive.
If it helps you make up your mind, in Wargroove, villages are units, and they can be hit by Pistol's Groove. So it's like
Oh,
cities and the Stronghold, which is the HQ, can be hit by this groove.
and what happens to the properties when they get hit?
They take damage. It's like
Oh,
they become easier to capture, basically.
oh, even your own.
Yes.
Okay, but she's really good being in the front lines, aggressive. Then I would put her in A. Then
Okay.
I think that's a plus because you can chain more attacks. Yeah, definitely tier A then.
All right, who do we have next? Nadia. All right, we've got one of the title characters. All right, so Nadia's Groove will randomly select 3 units in a very big range to deal damage to. It's a reasonable amount of damage, and her Super Groove picks 5 units and does more damage. It also sets them on fire, her Super Groove, but the fire won't do damage if you put it out before the end of your turn. Any unit can put themselves out, or another unit standing next to them can put them out.
Okay, and being on fire means that they receive damage per turn, or what?
Yes, unless they put it out, and you'll get a chance to put it out before it ticks.
Okay, but you cannot like you have to lose a turn to put it out on fire, pretty much. Like not
Something
attack.
has to put it out. Either the unit can put itself out, or a unit can
Right.
stand next to it and then put it out.
Right. Um, and it's at random the targeting of the units
Yes, it's random.
and only enemies, no
Yes,
friendlies.
only enemies.
And how much damage does it do?
Um,
So it
it
looks like the closer it is, the more damage it does.
that's just a
Oh,
coincidence. One of
oh,
those
okay.
units is standing on a lower defensive tile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Wargroove, this kind of damage scales with defense.
Hmm. It's a pretty good damage though, leaving it at 3. Very easily picked off.
Hmm That
Like
is an
would another
infantry, though. These are infantry units.
right? Would another infantry take out that infantry at 3 HP? Like does it do
Yeah,
like 5
yeah, yeah, yeah,
damage usually?
definitely, definitely.
Okay. Hmm. Um. It's okay. It's a good one. I wouldn't say it's busted. I would put it.
Oh, I should probably tell you one more thing. Her charge speed is the same as the buff mouse, so slower than the other 2 mice.
It's slower. And then the super hits 5 units. What's the distance that it can hit?
It's a little hard to see on the screen. I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 distance. I think it's about 5
Oh,
distance.
okay. Then I would put it on the tier with the above the buff mice.
Above the buff mice?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think the fact that you can hit more units is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can she move and do that, or she has to stay in
She
the
can
same
move.
place?
Yeah, she can move and do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely B then.
All right. Next up is Wolfar.
I would even put her above the that sage mice, like in front of. I don't know if you're doing that like within the tier, if you're like ordering it, or just the same tier.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, I think or it's fine. We can just leave it B. I
Oh,
noticed there's like 3 for each faction. Is that
yeah,
right?
just about, just about.
Okay.
Sorry, did you want her in a different tier?
No, no, no. The tier B is good. I think.
Okay. All right, Wolfar.
I'm sure I'm getting these all wrong.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good.
Okay, okay, okay.
All right, so Wolfar gulfs a unit. This would be so funny in Advance Wars. It's pretty funny in
Oh,
Wargroove.
goals a unit. Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, Wolfar will actually take a unit, friend or foe, and gulf them. If it's a foe, it will take some damage. If it's a friendly, it will also take some damage.
Oh.
Now, when the gulfed unit lands, it will deal that same damage to all units next to it, but only enemies. Now, for Wolfar's Super Groove, it will bounce. So it will land and then bounce again. And you can
Huh.
choose the direction it bounces in up to 3 tiles. And the range is huge on this. I should also mention that Wolfar has the fastest charging groove out of anyone we've seen.
Oh, wow. Like significantly?
Um, uh, I don't know if I how to call significant or not significant, but
Okay.
his super groove is faster than anyone else's super groove. His regular groove is at the same speed or faster than anyone else's regular groove.
Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, really fast. And can he do that to any unit? Like it doesn't matter what unit it is?
Um,
Like
yeah,
it could be like a really big, strong unit, you know, like the mega tank. Can you do that to a mega tank, for example?
yep, yeah, he could do this to a mega tank.
Oh, can you do that to other commanders as well?
No,
Oh, and can he move and do that?
yep,
Oh, okay. I mean, I was gonna think it wasn't very strong, but it could actually be pretty good. Um, do neither of these guys affect the rest of the units? Like, there's no buff to the units of any kind. They just like have their own little things.
right. So there are no day-to-days in Wargroove.
Okay. Um, how much is the damage that he's doing?
It's I'd say it's comparable to the damage that Nadia does.
Nadia was the one in the A.
Nadia's the B tier one, the one in the
Mm.
black pirate outfit.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, that's interesting. I mean, it's definitely a B at least,
Hmm.
if not an A. The fact that you can get that power all the time. But the other one had the chain. You know what? Let's put him in A. Let's do A.
Okay. Before or after the chain lightning mouse?
Um, I think I would say before. Yeah,
Okay.
just seems like you could do it. You could use it in so many things. You can kick out any like big unit that's coming or that you don't have an answer for. You just kick it out. You know, make it wait a few more turns. You can deal damage. You can, I don't know, push a unit of yours that's kind of late or something into the action, or
Hmm.
go and damage some of the units. There's a lot of uses for that, honestly.
And if it
And the
lands
fact that
on
he
an
can move
invalid
and yeah.
tile, it's dead.
Oh. Oh, okay, yeah, definitely, definitely really strong then.
All
I would,
right.
I'm maybe even higher than what I put it, but let's stay with 8.
Okay, okay. Well, we can revisit at the end if you want to change things
Okay.
around. All right. Errol and Orla, the twins. So they actually have two options for their tier one groove. They could pick one. One of them is to create a totem that will heal enemies and allies standing in it. One of them is to create a totem that will damage enemies and allies standing in it.
Mm.
Their super groove is to create a totem that will only hurt enemies and only heal allies. The healing is a flat 20%. So that's 2 on the number there.
Right.
And the damage is the same. Also, the healing or damage will happen the second the totem appears and at the beginning of the twins' turns. The totems will decay. It'll
Oh.
disappear completely in like 3 or 4 turns, depending. And it's fairly tanky. It can take maybe 2 or 3 hits before it goes down.
Oh wow. And does that healing and damage happen every turn?
Yes, at the start of the twins' turns. Though it's a unit, you can attack it, and it can basically, if you can hit it on three sides, it'll probably go down.
How fast do they get their powers?
Um, that's a good question. Might need to check that actually. Not as familiar with that. Um, I'd say around the faster mice, not the buff mice, the faster mice.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, they get their power reasonably quickly. Reasonably quickly. They get their tier 1 power at the same time as the buff mouse, but they get their tier 2 pretty quickly after that.
Um, it's tricky. It sounds like really good to just death ball in there and just heal up everything and damage the other ones. That's crazy. Um, let's see, can we look at the tier list so I can have a
Yeah, yeah,
reference?
yeah, yeah.
That is a pretty interesting one. Mm. So maybe a B tier. Yeah, let's put them on the B. I feel like the A's are really strong.
Okay. All right, next up is a doggo.
The doggo, the famous doggo.
Yep. All right, this is Caesar, the
Caesar.
commander that I may or may not have gotten banned in Wargroove 1, unfortunately.
No,
I have no regrets.
what? Why do you have it banned?
There were a few games where I did some crazy things with this commander, and everyone was like, okay, no, this needs to be banned.
S
Um,
tier, clearly.
but that was in Wargroove 1. It's had a
Okay.
complete rework since then, and it doesn't work the same way anymore.
Okay.
So what that tells you something or not, I don't know. But it's basically a different commander now. So Wargroove 2 Caesar, their tier 1 groove is they allow 4 units to act again, and they have to be standing next to Caesar. So
Oh wow.
4 units standing directly next to Caesar can act again. But
Wow.
you can't just do this to anything. They have to be a specific kind of unit.
Oh,
So I'll read you the list in translating it into Advanced Wars terms. So
okay.
infantry, mechs, um, recon, anti-air, arties. Uh, there are no equivalents to some of these.
Like pretty much all the light stuff, right? But
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the really
exactly.
heavy
They
stuff.
have to be light troopers. Yeah.
Hmm. But you said like anti-air, so that there's a specific unit that is in charge of countering air units, right?
Yes, the mage. The mage is
So,
basically it's like an anti-air that does less damage to infantry. And it's not a very good unit,
hmm,
but it can cast a spell for 300 gold, which is like 3,000 money in Advanced Wars, that can
hmm.
heal units in kind of a cross
Oh,
by
okay.
20%, a flat 20%.
Yeah, because I'm like, if they can, the fact that they can give a little lightning strike to anti-airs, for example, or to these stages that deal with air units, it is pretty strong since air units are strong because they can't be countered by anything.
Hmm.
Um, can it also make a capture work at the same time? Like, is it similar like in Advance Wars that you start a capture and then you have to do another turn to capture?
No, so in Wargroove, a city is a unit. You can't stand on it. It's actually a unit on the map. And you
Oh,
smack it
okay.
in the face and kill it,
Oh,
and then it becomes neutral. And then you can capture it by moving a foot soldier next to it and having it capture. So you have to
mm,
do enough damage to take it out, and they kind of get health as the turns go on, up to 100%. Um,
okay.
foot soldiers are the only units that can capture them, but they don't do necessarily as much damage to them.
Mm. So what I'm thinking is you can use this to speed up captures, right? Because you can. I mean, are captures important in Wargroove? Like, is there an HQ capture, for example, or?
So the HQ can't be captured, but it can be knocked down.
Oh, okay,
So it can be destroyed, basically, which is the equivalent of capturing it.
okay. Can the doggo move and do the power?
Yes.
Okay. And this is he only has one power?
Oh no, sorry. The regular power is a lightning strike on 4 foot soldiers around them. The superpower is a lightning strike on 12, so again, increase radius by 1, foot soldiers around him, and they get +2 movement after the lightning strike. They don't get to
Oh,
keep that for the rest of the game, but during that lightning strike, they get +2 movement.
wow. That doggo is strong.
I will say that this is the slowest charging groove you've seen
Hmm,
yet. Their tier 1
okay.
charges at the speed of the buff mouse's tier 1, and their tier 2 is slower than anything you've seen yet.
Okay. Can I look at the tier list?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I mean, easily tier A, then it's giving me definite eagle vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like a smaller eagle, right? But all of these seem like a little bit smaller because they all have like their effect is only from one unit
Mm-hmm.
and not across the board. So yeah, let's put the doggo in A. In front of the lightning mouse
Okay.
before the chest guy.
Okay.
Might be even higher, honestly.
S tier?
No, let's keep the doggo there. I want to see what other broken guys we have coming up.
Okay. All right. So next up we have Vesper. All right. Vesper. Vesper is the slowest charging commander you've seen yet. Vesper is as slow as possible, actually, for charging her group.
Oh, he
Um,
looks like Eagle.
looks like who?
He looks like Eagle. He has the hair.
Um, her sprite kind of does. Yeah, I see what you mean. So Vesper can create this smoke field. You can see it on the screen,
Yeah.
and units in the smoke field cannot be attacked and do not take counterattack damage.
Oh. Oh, so if those units go and attack, they don't receive a counter attack. Oh, okay, that's
Yes, and
interesting.
they can't be attacked on the next turn. The smoke field will last for 1 full turn. So Vesper puts it down. On Vesper's next turn, it disappears.
Can you choose where to put it?
Yes, the range is 6 away from Vesper. The center of
Oh,
it
wow.
can be up to 6 away from Vesper.
That's a lot. What's the super?
The super is the exact same thing, but it can be 12 away from Vesper, and it will spawn 2 units. These units are called Shadow Sisters. They're like shadow copies of Vesper. They're very squishy. They die to 1 hit from anything, even a foot soldier.
Yeah.
But they do about Vesper's regular attack damage. So you get to spawn these kind of blast cannons.
Mm. But if they attack within the thing, they can't get attacked, right? So they're
Yes, but they don't get to attack on the turn they're spawned, so that's not
oh,
possible for them to do that.
okay. So they just spawn, then you attack with your units for free, then they can't get attacked on the opponent's turn, and then back on your turn, you get these shadow sisters that can go and deal damage.
Hmm.
Uh, I see that. Okay. And the smoke only lasts one turn, right?
Yes.
Okay, definitely pretty strong. The fact that you can do 6 tiles away or even 12 tiles away, that's like the entire map, pretty much. Pretty much, you can choose where you want to have a little lightning strike, but even better than lightning strike because there's no counter attack, almost like a counter break.
Hmm.
Um, definitely A tier, I think. Yeah, let's do A tier. Definitely much stronger than all the ones in B.
Hmm. Is there a particular order or just
We can look at the order later, I think, to
okay?
be more specific.
Yeah. All right. Next up
Yeah,
is
really hard.
Emmerich. Okay, so Emmeric's Tier 1 Groove charges pretty quickly. It summons a totem, right? A unit on the map. It could go down in 2 hits, sometimes one. But usually you'll try to protect it so that doesn't happen. It provides +2 defense in 2 radius. The one appearing on the screen, yeah, that's the size. So it'll give +2 stars of defense to anything, allies only, within the field.
Okay.
Um, that's all it does. The tier 2 has 3 radius, so it would be bigger than the one you're seeing on the screen.
Okay.
But the tier 2 also provides +2 range to ranged units that stand within it. The crystal will last for 10 turns if nothing attacks it, but it can go down in 1 or 2 hits if something does attack it. And you can heal it to make it last indefinitely, though that will cost money.
Oh. Huh. Um, a bit underwhelming after some of these other commanders for sure. Because it only grants a bit of defense in a specific area, so it's hard to like push somewhere.
So I might have said this kind of quickly, but the tier 2 will also give +2 range to ranged units.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, that one is nice. The fact that they have more range. Um, but there's no attack bonus.
Correct.
Mm. I mean, you can get some nice tactics maybe with the extra range, and that's for a really long time. I think definitely not an A. I'd probably put it in tier B then maybe.
Okay.
Let's do tier B.
All right.
Think what did we have in tier B? Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay. All right. Next up is Mercia. Her groove charges pretty quickly. Her tier 1 will heal 50%, so 5, health to all units in her radius of 3. It includes herself. And her tier 2 will heal 75%, to all units in the radius, and an additional 10% to all units in the radius and on the map in general, just all of her allies.
Wow. So pretty much whoever is in range of the super gets healed up 85 then?
Yes.
Ooh.
And it charges pretty quickly.
Okay. That is really nice. um I would say an A tier then.
Okay.
Your stuff not dying, you can just keep killing and she moves. Just like you get it really fast, yeah. A tier for sure.
All right. Next
I
up.
have to see one that's like really busted to put it in S.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. That's fair.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right. So this is Mercival. Mercival's tier 1 groove charges pretty slowly, kind of the same as Buff Mouse.
Okay.
Um, to use the tier 1 groove, you have to be next to some kind of water tile. Mercival will fish in the water tile and produce a fish, and if you have not caught that fish yet, it will be added to your list of fish.
Okay. What do the fish do?
Nothing.
You're kidding me.
Mercival's tier 2 groove, also very slow to charge. Mercival has to be next to a forest or mountain tile to use it. And if Mercival uses the groove on that tile, they'll go bird watching. And if the Mercival sees a bird you don't have yet, it'll be added to your bird list.
And what does having a bird on your bird list do?
Nothing.
Okay, absolute F tier or whatever the lowest tier it is. That's the worst commander. Like that seems like a tutorial commander that they put just to like so it has no power whatsoever, so you can learn how to use it. But yeah, that is definitely the worst one.
I will say. All right. Let's see.
I mean, there's nothing that you're not telling, right? That like
No, no,
there's
no.
not some
I've
special
given
power
you all
that's
the information.
especially
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'm not telling you, I guess, is in the first game, Mercival is the most difficult commander to unlock,
okay,
and
but he
that
still does
Mercival's
nothing.
tournament win rate is 100%.
Is it 100% because uh no one uses him
Oh no,
or
no. Mercival's been used in tournaments.
okay? I mean, does he deal a lot of damage normally? Maybe.
I've given you all pertinent information.
Okay, I'll stick to him. It looks like a retired commander, maybe. He's like he's retired from war. He's no longer fighting. He's just like going fishing and bird watching. So he's down at the D tier. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
All right, this is Greenfinger Zawan. Greenfinger Zawan's tier 1 groove. That charge is kind of slow, same as the buff mouse. It creates 5 vines on the field. These vines are fairly tanky. I'd say they have the tankiness of tanks. They can't attack,
Oh,
but they can move up to 2 spaces each, and their move is a teleport, so they could jump over an enemy. But they can't
oh
attack.
wow.
They're just blockers.
Oh, okay. And do they have a lifespan?
They will decay 20% each turn.
Mm, okay,
The Super
interesting.
Groove will charge fairly reasonably quickly after the regular charge groove. Um, and the vines can be thrown out further. You still only get 5, but you can put them further out, up to 8 tiles away when you summon them.
Okay.
And they'll deal 25% damage when they appear. Sorry, not true damage, 25% of Greenfinger's attack, which is like 25% of, I don't know, Mega Tank's attack or something.
Oh,
When they appear, and then it's affected by defense, and they will do that damage again every time they move and an enemy is next to their new location.
does the damage of the vines apply to all surrounding units?
Just enemies.
Yeah, right. But like, maybe there's like 3 units surrounding a vine. Does it hit all 3 of them?
Yes.
Oh. And are you forced to place the vines like it shows there, like all one next to the other? You can kind of spread them around.
Anywhere in range. They do not have to be next to each other.
Oh, okay. That's nice. That's actually really nice. You can even trap a unit if you want to.
You could, yeah.
You can block a path. You can.
Yep.
Oof. That seems really. Like you can do so many things with that. I
Mm-hmm.
think easy B, but probably an A. Let's look at the tier again. We have in B those. I think. Oof, I'm between B and A, honestly. Let's let's put it in let's put it in B. Let's put it in it's like a very high B
Okay.
because I feel like all the ones in A have some sort of way of dealing a lot of damage,
Mm-hmm.
like really drastically changing. And I feel like for B, it's like, oh, you have to be kind of smart. For this one, you kind of have to be a little bit smart of how you use it.
You
So
do.
yeah, for now, I'll leave it there.
All right, this is Nuru. Nuru has one of the slowest grooves in the game. Very extremely slow. For her regular groove, she can pay for any unit of a certain kind. I think there's a list of what you can choose. And it will appear in front of her and be able to act that turn. So you kind of treat her as a very limited production facility for a turn. I don't think it
Oh,
says the list of. She can only really summon like a pike or an anti-air or something like that, a sword. She can't summon a tank or a flyer.
so like very, very, very light units.
Yes, light units. And Artie is a light unit in this game.
Okay. Is it like an archer?
Yeah, yeah, Archer. Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Hmm. And that's how far she can summon units.
Yeah, it has to be next to her, but it can act that turn, so it can run away and hit something.
But like she can never make a bigger unit, right? So only really small ones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It has to be a light unit.
Mm.
Like the best thing you could make, there's this very far ranged unit called a rifle. You could make that.
Okay.
I think that's
Let's
the most
let's put
expensive.
her
Yeah.
let's put her at the bottom of the barrel. The
I didn't
tier,
tell her
I
you
think.
her T2 yet though.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Her T2 is the exact same as the T1, but you don't have to pay for the light unit, and all your production facilities get a 25% discount that turn.
Oh, okay. Do you usually have a lot of recruit properties?
You use it's like Advanced Wars. It's the same. You'll probably have
Like two or three.
yeah, two or three.
And I guess another question, like, because it says that the power and the super is like very slow and very slow, but like do you have to wait to get the first one all loaded up to then charge for the second one, or how does that work?
Yes, yes. So the sum total you have to get the first one charged to get to the second one.
Okay, and
And
you
if
have to
you
like hold.
use the first one, you lose all of your power.
Right. Okay. Yeah, let's do maybe C, but it will be really low C. Actually, with the super, it's not that bad. Let's do C. Let's do C tier. Yeah, I
Okay.
think D is like trash.
hmm
C is like uh, a little bit. Yeah, that's good.
All right. Just quickly remind myself what we're at. Sedge, right. All right. So Sedge, like Nuru, has the slowest charging grooves in the game. Slowest charging tier one, slowest charging tier two. So the T2 is very slow because you have to charge both.
Okay.
Um, however, as long as you use Sedge's groove to get a reset, you don't expend any groove charge. So the way it works is when Sedge gets their tier 1 groove, and I want to be clear,
Mhm.
Sedge getting their tier 1 groove is as slow as Wolfar, the golfing dude, getting their tier 2
Okay.
groove. That's how slow it is. When Sedge gets their tier 1 groove, they can execute any unit at 25 health or less in melee range, and if they do that, Sedge can move again. Sedge can move and act again that turn, and no groove is expended. Sedge's tier
What?
2 groove is exactly the same, but it's at 3 range and 35 health or less.
But it has to like kill a unit that's already almost dead.
Yes, it will execute the unit. And then Sedge can act again and use the groove again. Or just wait and end their turn. They will keep their groove charge.
Mm. So okay, so Sedge can like keep using the groove over and over, like
Yes.
over multiple turns.
Yes.
And what happens if you don't what is it, assassinate the unit?
Nothing. I mean, as long as you don't use the groove. Like, Sedge can still just play normally. But if you use the groove and it doesn't assassinate, it will just do flat damage. It'll do flat damage and you'll lose your groove charge like a normal commander. Generally, Sedge
Oh,
players will only do that if they're trying to kill an opposing commander and the timing works out that they have to do it that way.
yeah, I'm not sure if I'm not understanding it correctly, but it seems pretty bad. I put Sedge in tier D as well. No, not tier D, sorry, tier um I think it was tier C.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because it only works if the unit is almost dead already.
Yes.
Does Sedge have like a good base damage?
The same as any other commander.
Oh, okay. So they all have the same base damage. Okay, interesting. Yeah, no, I think C is fine.
Okay. Yoda next. Alright, so Neota is probably the fastest charging commander in the game right now. They get their
Ooh,
groove very quickly, both tier 1 and tier 2. Like, insanely fast. Like, we're talking adder levels of fast here.
okay,
Um, Neota can jump up to 5 tiles and deal a fairly small amount of damage. It looks like a lot on the screen, but that's because it's attacking infantry.
right.
And tier 2 is up to 10 tiles
Hmm.
And it'll do twice as much damage as the tier 1, and any unit hit will be able to move one space less if they move during the very next turn.
Um.
The damage
Yeah,
and the
and
anti-move effect only affect enemy units.
yeah, it's pretty underwhelming as well. I think it is kind of tricky to like if I could know how much damage it does to different kinds of units, because maybe you're right. Like the thing that it always shows infantry, but it says 25% damage of what she normally does, right?
Yeah,
Like
so Nyota, 25% damage to like a tank, for example, would probably be like 10 or 20.
okay. Then probably tier C then as well.
Okay.
I think I need to look at the tier list again. Maybe B? Can't remember what we had there. It's similar to. Oh, I don't know, because the girl with the flames, she does like a base, like a flat damage to any kind of unit.
No, no, she
But this.
also does percentage damage. It's just a little
Oh,
bit higher than Nyota's tier 1.
okay. But this one's. It seems a little bit trickier because they have to be in a line like that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like if they're separate, then it doesn't work. Like you only hit one.
Mm-hmm. Well, no,
Hmm.
you can groove over empty space.
Oh, okay.
Basically, every tile of movement you can change direction.
Let's do tier B. Yeah, let's do tier B for now.
Okay.
Might be lower than that.
All right. I keep forgetting to check. Who we have next. Tenri. All right. We're almost done.
Yeah.
Tenri is another very, very, very slow. Like as slow as you can be commander. Her tier 1, its range is 5. She'll pick up a unit and put it somewhere else. Enemy or ally, doesn't matter. She will pick up one unit and put it somewhere else.
In a range of 5.
Yeah, 5 away from
Oh,
her.
okay.
5 away from her. Not 5 away from the unit, 5 away from herself. So she can pick something up within 5 range of herself and put it
Right.
down somewhere within 5 range of
Wait.
herself.
Okay. But no damage. No, nothing.
Nope.
Uh, seems very situational. You could definitely use it for like I don't know, capturing, or like it's showing there like reaching some tile that you would otherwise not be able to get to.
Well, that's a very
Maybe.
unusual situation. I think that's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
a graphic.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like you're trying to capture a com tower that's on an island or something like that, like
Yeah.
an advanced force.
Yeah.
But
You could do that.
it's very uncommon, and I feel like very very situational.
Her
No
tier
damage, not.
2 is the same thing, but the range is 8. And when it lands, it will do damage and push units one tile away.
Oh, okay. How much damage? Like a good
Not very
amount?
much, a little bit.
Okay. And it says that it charges very slow.
Yes, extremely slow. She's uh, as slow as possible.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely tier C.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put a tier C.
Okay. All right. Koji's next. All right, so Koji will summon 2 Sparrow Bombs. These are air units that have the ability to stand on terrain that air units can't normally stand on. Their movement is 4, and they die in 1 hit, but they're air units. When they explode, they deal a good amount of damage each to all units around them, enemies only.
Huh.
And the tier 2 summons a more powerful bomb that deals a very significant chunk of damage, and it usually takes 2 hits to kill them.
Very slow and slow.
Yes.
So, do you have to wait a turn to use them, or can you deploy them and detonate them in the same turn?
You can deploy them and detonate them in the same turn.
Okay. Do they move?
Yes, their movement is 4.
Okay.
And you don't have to
Hmm.
summon them like that. You can summon them in any of the cardinal positions around Koji.
Right. Can they move on that very same turn and then
Yes,
explode?
yes.
Oh, okay. So you can deploy them, then you move when you explode, you do damage.
The
And then you
range
said
of
the
the
damage.
explosion is 1. This isn't a black bomb. It will only affect
Oh,
the units directly next to it when it goes off.
okay. And the damage is pretty significant, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, I would put them tier B.
Okay.
Let's do tier B. I would maybe even say tier C, but let's do tier B because this one does actual damage.
Hmm.
I feel like the tier Cs are like very little damage.
All right. And
Wait,
at the
you
end,
have the
we're going to
buff to Meister.
reveal what the
Yeah.
the community thinks. Okay.
Oof. I can't wait to see that. See how wrong I am.
I think you're doing pretty good. This is Ragna. So Ragna has a reasonably fast charging groove. A reasonably fast charging groove.
Okay.
Wait, is it actually medium medium? I thought it was slower. Did Ragna get a buff? Someone in chat can let me know. So Ragna will jump. She can jump up to 3 spaces away, and as you
Hmm.
can see in the picture, she will push enemy units back 1 tile and do some damage. Oh, Ragna got
Okay.
buffed. Okay. Yeah, yeah, her groove charges more quickly than it used to. That's interesting.
Does the unit that get pushed back? Yeah, is it like the other guy? If it falls into like on a terrain tile that it can't be on, it just dies.
Yes. Though
Oh,
it's weird. There it can't be on is a very specific phrase. But usually yes. There are some tiles that cannot be pushed into, in which case it would just take a flat 20% damage instead, and fail to be
okay.
pushed. But if
Oh,
it's
okay, okay.
on like an ocean tile, then it will just immediately sink and die.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, and the super is the same but 6.
6 range, quite a bit of damage, and push back 2 tiles.
Hmm. Not very impressed. Probably tier B as
Okay.
well. Yeah,
All right, tier B.
tier B. Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
All right, we got Sigrid next. Sigrid will eat a unit. The unit will die, and Sigrid will gain its health as recovery. Up to full. You can't overheal with this. Tier 2 is the same thing, but she cannot be attacked during the next turn.
Uh, okay, so she attacks and regains health. So like a vampire kind of thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But to be
Okay.
clear, this isn't an attack. She will guaranteed kill the unit, even an air
Oh,
unit.
oh, okay. Any kind of unit, even like heavier units?
Yes, you could do this to a
Oh,
battleship.
wow. And she regains full health.
Well, she'll regain the health of the unit.
Oh, okay. Huh. I mean, it's nice because it like instantly KOs a unit,
Mm-hmm.
but it only affects one unit,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a slow charge too.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So, oh, this is a tricky one. Would it be tier B? Would it be in the same tier as the dashing, or would it be like the dog? Oh no, the dash is tier C.
You put the
Um.
dash in tier B, actually. Did you want to move them to C?
Oh, the dasher is tier B. Oh no, then no, it's fine. It's fine. I think tier B is okay. I think. Oh, it's tricky. Let's leave her at tier B. I'm kind of skeptical. Maybe it could be tier A, but I feel like the tier A's are really strong. I
Okay.
might have to redistribute some of these,
All
push
right.
them to S, and then stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
a final check on everything. Give you one
Okay,
last
okay.
chance. All right. This is Valder. Valder summons one sword. That's their tier 1 groove. They summon one infantry unit.
Okay.
Their tier 2 is they summon two infantry unit, and for that turn, all infantry unit get 1.5 times damage.
Oh, that's really bad. That's like the last tier.
D tier?
Yeah, yeah. Let's put him at the last tier.
Okay. All right. We're on to Dark Mercia. Okay, Dark Mercia will drain 30 health, ignores defense for all units in a range of 3 around her, and she can
Oh,
recover any damage that's done. So she can heal any damage that she does. Um, Her Super Groove will do an additional 10% to all enemies on the map.
wow. That's global damage right there.
Yes, she is the only
Um,
commander that can deal global damage.
yeah, that's pretty interesting. But she's the only one that heals up. Hmm. So let's look at the tier list. I think she could be tier A, maybe like a lower A because the B's.
Okay.
Let's see the tier B. Let's do tier A because global damage is busted. Yeah,
All right. All right. We've only got one left. We've only got one left. Elodie.
one left, one left.
So Elodie can her tier 1 is she can control a unit for a turn. So she can take control of an enemy unit for a turn. Her tier 2 is she can take permanent control of an enemy unit.
Um. Okay. Can you move that unit that same turn and use it?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, although the super is pretty nice. Permanent control, it can be any unit.
Yes. But of course, the range on this is 1, so you have to walk up to it.
Right. Oh, oh my computer just turned off. Let's do. Oof. Let's put. The fact that you can grab any unit, that's pretty strong. No commanders, right? Obviously.
Yeah, no commanders.
Hmm. Let's do. Let's do A for now. It's definitely a low A, and I'm gonna be pushing some up to S tier.
Okay. All right, so this is your final chance to move things around before I reveal what the community thinks.
Okay, let's do the guy with the chest hammer up to S tier because I think it was pretty busted.
Okay.
And then I think the doggo is pretty good, but I'm not sure if it's an S.
Mm-hmm.
Who else could be an S? Maybe the healing one. That one's pretty nice.
You want me to put
The
Mercia to S tier?
let's do Mercia and the dog up to S.
Okay.
I need to widen up a little bit the distribution of these COs, these
Mhm.
commanders.
Yeah.
I feel like B is too. There's too many.
Yeah.
There's too many in B.
Yeah.
So we can probably do like um I was thinking the little twins
Yeah.
and maybe the girl, the pirate girl that does like fire, that does
Mhm.
like fire. Maybe those two up to A.
Okay.
I don't remember a lot of these.
I can go through them. So Greenfinger summons vines.
Oh, okay.
Lytra spins units around. Emmerich
Mm,
has the crystal that gives defense and +2 range.
yeah,
Yoda dashes around.
yeah.
Koji makes the bombs. Ragna jumps and pushes things and damages them. Sigrid eats something and recovers.
Okay, let's actually bring down the pirate to B.
Okay.
And let's put the vines in A.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably okay. Maybe the twins could be a B, honestly. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But let's stick with this. Maybe I want to see what the community thinks and how wrong I am.
All right. Is this your final tier list?
Yes, sure. Let's do it.
All right. So this is what the community thinks. Let me just.
Let's see.
So let me see if I can get these side by side. It's a little tricky because they take up a lot of the screen, but yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So
there's only one in tier D.
okay, so the one on the
Oh,
right is
wow.
yours, and the one on the left is the community's.
I see people talking about Balder. I see they put Balder in the tier B, but he only spawns one infantry. How is that like as good as some of the other ones?
Um, that's a great question. Okay, so the most shocking I love your discussion around where to put the twins because we had the same debate today. We weren't sure if the twins should be actually yeah, let me shrink this a little so we can see everything because they're going
Oh
off the
wow,
screen.
they put Mercia down at C, but she can heal everything.
Yeah, so
That's pretty good.
Mercia is actually considered really bad because I think one of the things that is very different between Advanced Wars and Wargroove is healing. Healing doesn't matter in this game because it's so free. You can reinforce on villages for easy healing up to 100% in one turn for a unit, and generally you won't leave units damaged. You'll leave them dead. In Wargroove,
Oh,
it's a very fast tempo game. Like it'll take about as long as a game of Advanced Wars. The brain power is about the same, but
mhm.
the way it plays, like in Advanced Wars, you might have like some 1 health, 2 health units running around. In Wargroove, you immediately heal those or they die. Like you generally one shot things in Wargroove, as
Oh
opposed
wow.
to 2 or 3 shotting them. So the game is much more lethal, and there's nothing to heal, which is why Mercia
Right.
is not considered very good.
Okay.
You were right about Caesar. You ranked Vesper and Pistol very highly, right? In terms of the purple ones, right? Dark Mercia and Elodie. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to let Sigrid and Nadia go off the screen so that we can have a better comparison here. So in terms of the purple ones, right? Dark Mercia does do global damage, but the damage is not considered very impactful
Right.
because it takes so long to get it, and global 10% is kind of weak in Wargroove, actually.
Yeah.
Additionally, her localized damage is not considered very good either, because it doesn't change very much compared to what the other commanders can do.
Right.
So she's actually at the bottom of B tier right now. Some
Uh-huh.
people think maybe she could be a little stronger, but because it takes for her so long to get the global damage, it's not really comparable to other commanders.
Right.
Elodie is considered trash just because it takes way too long for her groove to come online. Stealing a unit is very good. You were right about that. The permanent steal is very good. I remember you said that. The problem is it takes her just a little bit long to get that ability.
Mm.
And her tier 1 is next to useless because it just doesn't work out as being very good in this game.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I think you were pretty spot on. Greenfinger, you were talking about how Greenfinger is really good. You were right about that. Emmerich, you had Emmerich a little bit lower than we had Emmerich, but some people do think that Emmerich is weak. I think Emmerich is S tier. I actually
Is
think
is Emmerich
Emmerich's
the one with the bombs?
Emmerich is the crystal one, the +2 range one.
Oh, the crystal one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Emmerich is grit. I think Emmerich is grit, but other people disagree. So
Oh
Emmerich
yeah.
is debated right now. Koji, the one with the bombs, you're right, that's pretty good. Yoda, Lytra, you move them right to B tier. Twins, you move them right to B tier. Ragna. So Nadia is actually considered really bad. And so is Sigrid.
She was the vampire. Oh yeah, and then the fire one. Yeah.
Yeah, Nadia just kind of doesn't do enough damage for how long it takes her to use her power, and the fact that the damage is randomly selected makes her very tricky to use.
Yeah, that's true.
And not even tricky. It's like games can be turned into a coin flip because of her. So
Yeah.
like even if you play her well and have a win condition, now you have to flip a coin to see if you actually win or not. It's very frustrating to use her.
Right.
Sigrid, because she only eats one unit and has to get in melee range to do it, she's just not
Mm.
considered that impactful.
Yeah. Makes sense.
You ranked Ragna pretty high. I think Ragna's very unexplored right now. But she's just not considered very impactful.
What was Ragnar's?
Jump,
The
jump and push.
Oh, jump and push.
You were
Yeah, it was like,
immediately right about Rhomb. Like you put Rhomb exactly where we did right away.
is that the buffed mouse?
Yeah, the buff mouse.
Yeah, yeah. It was like, I mean, it only affects it's one unit, right? Like usually you're expecting it to do like an array of things. It's either hitting multiple units or healing multiple units,
Mm-hmm.
but just like increase the damage output of that single one. It's like, yeah, come on.
Nuru in C tier. Actually, we almost put Nuru in C tier. That's fine. You ranked Tenri pretty low. She can actually get a lot of use out of her groove, but she's a lot weaker in this game, so I think you did pretty good there.
Yeah,
Um,
why is that one the up in A tier? That's the one that assassinates, right?
yeah, Sedge. Sedge is amazing. Sedge is considered the most broken commander in the game.
Wow.
So I think the confusion here is that in Advanced Wars, when one unit hits another unit, it's usually at like 60 or 50%. But in Wargroove, things hit each other like frickin' copters.
Oh, okay. They did a lot of damage to each other.
Yeah, things do a lot of damage in Wargroove, so you'll very often get units that are perfectly in range for Sedge to assassinate, and you
Mm.
can just reset off your opponent's whole army.
And so I guess so he could like go assassinate one, then use the assassination again, like
Yep.
multiple times in the same
Yes.
turn.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that is pretty strong. You can just finish off
Valder.
one.
You put Valder in D tier, which is fair. Which is fair. Valder was actually the most broken commander in the game. But
How is he in B tier? He only spawns one infantry.
so or when Wargroove 2 first came out, most people considered Valder the number one or number two top commander. The reason is that his infantry in this game can hit anti-airs. They can hit artillery, which are because they're light units in this game.
Mm,
So, when Valder used Groove, you could one-shot artillery with infantry.
okay. So
But
infantry kill archers, pretty much.
yes, the damage was nerfed, so they don't do that anymore. And Valder was lowered to B, because
Mm.
they do good damage, but they don't really one-shot anything. It's just slightly more damage on your infantry attacks. It's not that impressive anymore.
But wasn't it that it took him a really long time to use his power as well?
Not that long. Not that long.
Or just normal?
Yeah,
Okay.
normal. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
I loved your
Um.
reaction when I told you what Mercival did.
Yeah. Is that the one on D tier? The other guy?
Yeah, the Fisher King.
That was. I mean, I was expecting something more. Maybe a very big super, but
So the
what, how,
joke is that Mercival actually dies within the very first scene of Wargroove 1. So his groove is gone fishing.
Oh, okay. Is that why it's very hard to get him?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You have to do this crazy thing. You have to get like almost every star in the game, and then you have to beat these certain levels again in a specific order while landing
Oh
your
no.
commander on a certain tile. This isn't explained
Oh
anywhere,
no.
by the way. This is like old school arcade stuff. Nobody
Yeah,
explains
yeah.
this. You just like have to, if you end up playing through that level again, you will see that tile glowing and like, oh, what's this? And it's crazy.
That's crazy. And then you get him, and then you're like, oh, this is the worst commander in the game. I did all of this for this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mercival is actually worse than a commander without a groove because there are certain situations where you'll actually be forced to use the groove rather than being able to move your maximum movement range. It's very funny.
Is there really something to adding your fish to your list or your
No,
bird?
it
Like,
doesn't do
is
anything.
there? It's like there's no list, right? It's not like a like Pokemon that you're collecting or something. Like,
Let me show you. Let me show you. So, wait, I still have something that I haven't unlocked. What? Wait. Hold on. I've unlocked everything. I've unlocked
oh
everything. What
wow,
is this? What is
a
this?
new
I don't
new
know what's
side
up with
quest.
that. Okay, that's probably a bug. Yeah, this is the list of fish.
Oh, okay. So there's a list of fish.
Yeah, so you kind of have like a little Pokedex. What?
Okay, okay.
A bugged Pokedex? Oh,
Oh,
did I
you're
never catch the
missing.
starfish? I thought I did catch the starfish. Why is it?
Oh,
All right, so I should have the starfish. I know I caught the thing. My, because I think I played this before they patched it and the starfish was broken. I think my game's just bugged.
okay. You have all the birds as well.
Yeah.
It is like a Pokédex then. There is a little bit of a I need to complete. I need to get all of these with this guy to get the 100% completion of the game.
Yeah, basically. It's a like, fun little achievement thing.
Yeah, that's funny. That's really funny. I think also it's hard when you don't know the mechanics of the game. But now that you say like that the units deal more damage to each other, like same unit against same unit is like an I don't know 3-8 kind of trade. In HP
Um,
instead of a 5-7.
so same unit to same unit isn't a 3-8 trade, but you almost always have a unit that will hit another unit for like a 3-9 trade.
Okay, like a different kind of unit.
Yeah, like unit triangles, there are a bunch in this game. Like for example, an infantry hitting an anti-air equivalent will knock out like maybe 60% of its health or something. A
Oh,
recon,
so
um,
infantries are really strong.
yeah, yeah, infantry are amazing in this game.
Okay. What's special about infantry here? Because you said that you don't capture properties, you just like you destroy them and then just walk on them, pretty much.
Yeah.
Is there
Um,
anything special that infantry do?
so let me see if I can kind of show you. So I built an infantry here. I'm just gonna end my turn and end the opponent's turn because I'm both players in this. So I can take this infantry, go up to this village, which is like a city, and choose the capture action, right? And I captured it. Since it's freshly captured, it's at 50% health. Enemy units could hit this to knock down the health, and then once it goes to 0, it'll appear as a neutral property like all of these.
Okay. Is it yours already? Just with one capture?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, you capture a neutral property instantly. You just need to move a commander or infantry next to it, and boom, it's yours. If you're
Oh,
lower health,
okay.
though, it'll be captured with lower health.
Oh. Yeah, okay. So you need a commander or infantry to capture these properties. Okay.
Yeah.
But any kind of unit can damage a property.
Yes.
Okay.
So you'll often get like in one turn, an opponent could knock down and then capture 3 villages, and then you could do the same on your turn. It can be very swingy.
Right. And yeah, so you can send if you send 2 units to hit a property, then you immediately take it out of the opponent's hands, pretty much.
It depends on the units. Like, for example, 2 recon will not do enough damage to knock down a property most of the time. And it depends on what
Right.
health the property's at. Like, right now, this was freshly captured. It's at 50%. But at the start of my next turn, it's at 60%. The captured properties regain 10% health every turn. So they get harder and harder to knock down.
Oh, okay.
Also, this is a very fun mechanic. You
Are
can
are
take...
archers strong against villages?
No, no, very weak.
Oh, oh, okay.
So I
That would
could
be nice
take...
if you are artillery.
Yeah. They're not really artilleries. That's kind of
Yeah,
a bad equivalent because our artilleries are like
they're like siege units.
yeah. Our artillery are more like support backline. They kind of they're artillery in that sense, where you
Yeah,
put the arty behind your tank, behind your infantry. Archers
right.
do that, and they can, but they're a little bit weaker, and they're not really siege. But in exchange, when you want to press forward and attack, they can kind of hit the front line and make it weak enough that you can one shot it.
Yeah, they can also move and shoot, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
All right. So one thing you can do is, you see, I have this damage commander. It's at 30%, and this village is at 22%.
Yeah.
I can spend money, reinforce. Now I've stolen all of
And
its health except 1%, and I paid the cost of the unit that I healed for the percentage of the unit I healed that I recovered. I paid in money to do that.
wow. Okay. So you can choose when to heal up units,
Yeah.
and they just like they just move through the field through your properties and heal up. So it's like as you're retreating or front shifting, they're healing up.
Well, not really. You don't want to do this while you're retreating, or your property will be very low health, and then it's very
Hmm.
easy for the opponent to capture it.
Right.
So you might not want to do that while you're retreating. Generally, you'll try to heal like behind the front lines.
Right.
Or if you could get an aggressive position, like I might want to heal this commander right here. If the enemy was like right in front of me, and then say, haha, I'm full health, you have to back up now, right? Because I'm protecting the village, I'm in front of it. But just like healing as you run away kind of just lets the enemy run through the village, knock it down, capture it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And can you choose how much to heal?
You will automatically heal for the most that you can,
Oh,
fixed by your health. You can't overheal. The village's health, it can't go below 1%. And your
mhm.
money, you can't go below $0 in this way.
Right. Wow. So you can have like a 1 HP unit, pass it through a 10 HP property, and heal that unit from 1 to 10, pretty
Oh,
much,
you
if you
don't have
pay
to
the full
pass it
cost.
through. You just have to stand next to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is you can heal 4 units on the same property pretty much as well.
Well, usually the property would be so drained it probably couldn't fully heal 4 different units.
Yeah. But I guess you could do like 2 HP to 4 different units, so that's 8, right? It brings it down to
Yeah.
2.
If you had 4 units at 8, you could, with a full village, heal them to full. Yep.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I see what you were saying about Mercia not being that strong with the healing because you can do that. You can heal 2 HP to multiple units. You can do like a little Andy power.
Hmm.
Like everyone can do it every single turn. No need for a commander power.
And even if
That's
that
interesting.
wasn't the case, one of the bigger things in Wargroove is Advanced Wars is built around 2 shots, right? You try to
Yeah.
thwart your enemy's 2 shots. So you put your tank on a city so that a 2 shot from tanks won't kill it, right? You're defending
Yeah.
against a 2 shot. It was designed to go down in 2 hits. Wargroove is designed around 1 shots.
Right.
2 shots will kill a unit, but you can use crits to get that down to 1 shot. So generally
Oh,
in Wargroove, you use critical hits, which are very tactical. Like, let me see if I can show you what the crit table looks like.
do you get to pick when you get a critical hit?
So, for example, a sword and infantry will get a critical hit if it's standing next to your commander. A pike will get a critical hit if it's standing next to another pike. These are mechs, basically, but they crit when
Right.
standing next to another mech. A recon, the battle pup, will get a crit if there's another recon standing next to the enemy you're attacking.
Wait. Battle pup.
Yes, battle pup.
that is that is amazing. I love that name. Very cute.
The
Battle
ranger will
pup.
get a crit if it does not move when it attacks, so if it stands stationary. The mage will get a crit if its defense is 3 stars or higher when it attacks. The knight will get a
Oof.
crit if it moves its maximum distance away and then attacks, and it can't loop over itself. It has to go in a mostly, like, the line can't cross itself, basically.
Okay.
The ballista will get a crit for an enemy that's at its minimum range. The trebuchet will get a crit. This is a lie. At 5 or more range. The golem will get a crit when it's 40 health or lower. The marksman gets a crit when you're in the middle
Wow.
of its range.
There's a lot of units.
Yes. Yeah, there's I think more units in a game of Wargroove than a game of Advanced Wars because you'll build all of
Yeah.
these in a game. The
Wow.
flamingo gets a crit when there's another flamingo opposite the enemy you're attacking. The harpy will get a crit when it's attacking from a mountain. The witch will get a crit if you are not standing next to another witch. The dragon gets a crit if you're standing on road. And the list goes on.
Oof. Yeah, that is. You have to like remember all of them, and you have to not only remember that for yourself, but also for your enemy. So like
Mm-hmm.
as you're putting your positioning on the map to make sure that they don't get a crit against you.
But it
That
turns wall breaking into this extremely strategic and tactical activity. Because now, if I want to one shot your infantry, right? Your infantry that's in front of your wall, right? I want to one shot that.
yeah.
Well, that's normally really hard to do. But if I can crit it, then I can remove it. So maybe
But
I want to set up my pike line, my mech line, so that I can threaten a crit, and that'll force you to move back. Or maybe I can position my knight so that you can't stand on that one tile 6 squares away from me, or I'll be able to
yeah.
wall break you. So you can kind of position your units to threaten crits, to
Yeah. Exactly.
control how your enemy can and can't wall, and then you can break their wall if they don't respect it.
Right. Yeah, that makes it really interesting. Hopefully, it's not very stally because of that. Um, but I guess I was gonna ask. So when you crit, I thought you had said it reduces the HP down to 1, but does it actually KO it? Like a crit is a KO?
A crit is more damage. I think what you're thinking of is when
Oh,
I was describing Pistol's Groove earlier. So a crit is just more damage, but often the critical hits are enough to one shot. So for example,
mm.
it's very difficult to one shot an infantry, right, without an anti-air in Advanced Wars. Uh,
Is a critical hit just like a double, like double the damage
each
that I would
unit
normally do?
has their own critical multiplier.
Oh.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of fun numbers in this game.
So complicated.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, that is a lot of units and a lot of scenarios, and yeah, I can definitely see that getting stally then because if it's like sometimes being able to do a little wall is okay, but if you're like kind of staring at each other from a long from a from a big distance, because if you step one tile more forward, they're gonna break through. It can be really tricky, and then you just start prepping a defense.
Right.
Is it
So
is it brawly or is it stally
it's
in a
both.
Wargroove in general?
There are brawly games and there are stolly games.
Oh, okay.
Different players have different styles and different commanders like different game states. For example, we just had 2 matches of the World Championship,
Okay.
where one of them, the first match was extremely brawly. It was non-stop fighting the entire time. You could never tell who was going to win or what was happening. Commanders almost died, but then narrowly got out. It was crazy. And then the second
Yeah.
game, total stall. Like one player got a perfect stall state, and then the opponent just couldn't go anywhere near them, and they just grinded it out and won.
And who won? The one that was stalling?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So like it can be either a stall game or a brawl game, depending
yeah.
on how you play.
Yeah. And that's okay. Like it's okay to have both, like in some maps you can have like really brawly ones, and sometimes you can have like very slow positional play ones
Mm-hmm.
where like at a lower level maybe it is always brawling, but at a higher level, given the map, maybe you'll have that slow movement of units, and I think that's also fun. Like there's fun in both, and just like straight up brawling to see who can get the better tactics out of a big battle, but also there's also that fun in positional play and tactics from a slow positional kind of stally game.
Hmm.
I think the bad stalls are just when it's like I'm just gonna camp here and you can't do anything about it and that's it, GG. Like those are the bad kind of stalls, pretty much.
Yeah, in an even game, generally, that can happen. Like if two players are both using a very stally style, then it
Yeah,
can happen. Um, and if they're evenly matched, it can go on for a while. But like, this is also a game where you've seen how volatile it is. You can just flip a bunch of villages every turn and just have nonstop fighting. It
no,
depends
yeah,
on the
yeah,
players. It depends. Yeah.
yeah, and also the commanders, as you were explaining them, like there's some that are really good at wall breaking or just like creating chaos out
Hmm.
of a board state.
Yes.
So that should also help um, just breaking a stall, you know?
Yeah, commander
Um,
grooves are usually a very strong forcing factor in making things happen, because the top players will usually know, okay, you have this commander, your position is this. One of us has to attack or they will lose. And you can kind of tell who that is based on the timer, based on what commanders you're playing and the position. So if both players are stalling and it's not evenly matched, someone is doing something wrong, or trying for like a timeout or something.
right.
It's a I don't want to say it's unusual. It can happen, but like generally it means someone's doing something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, same like in Advance Wars, honestly. Um, when do commanders die?
Yes,
Like,
and you
can you
lose
kill
the
everyone?
game if your commander dies.
Oh, wow. Wow. So it's like a moving HQ.
Yes.
That makes it actually really dangerous then to use some of the more aggressive ones. The ones that you like jump in front and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah.
Because you need to be able to get a good attack and mobilize everyone there to like death ball around your commander, or else if they're able to get a good tactic and kill your commander, then you're gone.
Yes.
So, oof,
On the other hand, the
that
commander is
that's
such a
important.
powerful unit that being able to lead with it could give you an advantage as long as it doesn't die.
And the commander KO certain units.
Yeah, the commander one-shots infantry.
Oh, okay. On any terrain.
On most terrain.
Okay.
Like I think like one star, it'll still one-shot on one star. Two
Okay.
stars, I think the infantry lives.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to check out Wargroove for a while. I should definitely give it a look. Like try to play it. I've been told that the campaign is a lot of fun.
It is. It is.
It is. Which one's better, Wargroove 1 or Wargroove 2?
I think having played Wargroove 1, it makes you really appreciate the Wargroove 2 campaign.
Okay.
Um, but even if I hadn't played Wargroove 1, I'd still say the Wargroove 2 campaign is better for a number of reasons. It doesn't give you like these crazy ranks based on how many turns you completed it in.
Yeah.
Instead, there are these optional stars you can try for or not try for, depending on what you want to do. And you can play it on whatever mode you want. It doesn't really matter. The story's better. It's very dark. It's very complex.
Mhm.
Like you in Wargroove 1, it was the Advance Wars story repackaged, like red team is fighting the blue team, but oh no, we're being manipulated.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
yeah. Advance Wars 2, sorry, Wargroove 2, Advance Wars 2. Wargroove 2 story, it is, oh my goodness. It is a novel. You can understand exactly why everyone's fighting. You don't know who to root for. You don't know who the villains are. Like, a lot of people say this one's the villain, that one's the hero. but even those people are super flawed. Like it and also really right at the same time. Like they're not wrong. It's
Yeah.
so deep and oh, it's good. It's good.
Do you get to play with all the factions?
You get to play with most of them
Okay.
throughout the campaign. It's a little tricky because some of the factions are working together, and I don't know how to describe that. But you'll basically play as most of, if not all of the factions throughout the game.
That's cool. So you get to use most of the commanders that we just saw.
Yeah.
That's cool. I was really thinking that the guy with a chest hammer was really OP.
You know, he is. Don't get me wrong. I would put him in S tier. The community said A tier, but like someone in chat would put him in S tier too. That's one of the commanders that people will pick and ban almost all the time. You're absolutely
Oh,
right.
okay.
No, you were right. You were right.
Okay. Yeah, it seems pretty broken. And because also because you had said that his power charges really fast. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Do you want to see it? I can show it to you real quick.
Yeah.
I one of the I wish I could say this was a perfect game in every way, but it does have a lot of bugs, unfortunately. But one of the great things about it is the campaign editor. Because you can just... Is this the right one? No. You can make, like, any kind of map you want. You can add scenarios. It's really cool.
Whoa, what's that thing?
Add your tier list. Here we go.
A huge thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's like a big tower on the bottom right.
Yeah. So I can just make a map that spawns all the commanders and gives them all to your groove.
Oh, also, do all the factions have the same types of units?
Yes. There's no day-to-days and everything has the same unit. I think one complaint I've heard from some people is that, oh no, that means all the armies are the same. They just have different skins. There's no variability. There's no reasons to pick different units with different commanders. That's not true at all. Like, if you're playing Emmerich, for example, you're going to want to build a few more archers. If you're playing Mercia, you probably want to build some golems because they're a unit that actually will survive with some level of low health, and they're very expensive, you know, very great to heal. It's like Andy with mega tanks, right?
Right.
Like, you really do want to build different units for each commander. I think it's just not as immediately apparent.
Yeah.
All right, so this is Wolfar's tier 2. So I'm going to golf this sword. Boom, boom, and boom.
Let's see. Off.
Oh, remember the chain lightning one? Let me show you what that looks like.
Oh, okay. It's not that strong.
Here's the chain lightning.
Okay, let's see. Oh, this is gonna be huge, right?
That's pistol.
See. Oh, so satisfying. Yeah, that was. I mean, you're never gonna see a situation like that, but yeah, that's pretty nice. I felt a little bit underwhelmed by Mr. Hammer chest guy, but I guess that there's probably better situations where his super can be used.
For example, if you hit like hold on, I hacked the heck out of this map so that I can do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
If for example you're near an enemy golem, which is like it's hard to say what kind of tank this is, an MD or a mega tank, depending on the day. But you can like damage the enemy commander and then just kind of sink it into like the ocean.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
Boom,
the fact that you can sink it to an ocean tile is huge.
Oh, this is an ally actually, so it didn't do damage, but it would have done damage if that was an enemy. Yeah, you can just sink it. Another thing you can do is like you can damage a stronghold like this. So, and I could do this from across the map. You know, your HQ just lost 40%, is 40% captured right now. Your HQ is 40% captured from across the map. Like, look at the range on this. Wow!
No, that's crazy. No, and the fact that you use it, that he gets the super so fast. Oh, that is a really big range. Yeah. Um, I get like the stream with a few seconds of delay, and yeah, that was what, like 20 tiles far away. That's a lot.
Oh, Sedge, right. So this is the execute thing. So like I can execute this unit, and of course on this map every commander constantly refreshes their turn. But with Sedge, I would in a normal game still have my turn. Now I can go and execute this unit, and I still have my turn. And you can just keep doing this.
Mm, yeah. So you get to clean up all the injured units
Yeah.
in the same turn. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty strong.
It's basically like you take your recon, you hit a sword, and then you delete. So you take a recon, you hit an infantry, then you get
Yeah.
to delete that infantry for free. Then you take your tank, you hit the back line, then you delete the backline unit, and you just keep going.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because you don't have to use the guy consecutively. You can just do one kill, then, like you said, injure with another unit, and then get the kill with him again, and like that, and you just keep breaking. That's actually really strong. You can also like peel off the whole first layer.
Mm-hmm.
You just do like first strikes on the first layer of, say, infantry, and you use him to like get the KO, and then you get to first strike the second layer, and like that. Like you you can just kill like every single unit as long as you match your units to theirs.
Yeah.
That's really strong, actually.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of competitive, like competitive scene out there of Wargroove? A lot of players. Is there a ladder and stuff like that?
So the world tournament's going on right now.
Okay.
Um, it's a very competitive one. There are a lot of good players.
Okay.
I think one, yeah. Let's see who's fighting right now. The last world champion of Wargroove won, Sequoia. Just won their round one matches set. Um, we got the previous world number two and world number three hasn't done their round one set yet. The previous world number two won their round one set. That's me. There's a lot of good players. But I'd say the competitive scene right now is mostly just the top players
Hmm.
and a few others. Um, if you were to join the competitive scene, like let me get out of this and kind of show you what queuing looks like in this game, or what queuing doesn't look like in this game, I should say. So there is a queue built into the game, but no one really uses it. I could probably sit here forever and not find a match unless someone stream snipes me, so I'm gonna get out of there because I know someone in chat would do that just to troll me. Um, in reality, most people queue through the Discord.
Yeah.
So if you join the official Wargroove Discord, yes, Sequoia, I knew you were gonna do that. Uh, the world champion likes to troll me. Um, so if you join the official Wargroove Discord, there's a queuing system that actually works. And you can play against people on community maps, like really good maps, like
Mm,
curated maps.
right.
That's probably the best way to get started, because if you've done a lot of AWBW, you're probably pretty good. Um, though, just like be warned, the it's mostly just the top players right now.
Right. Nice. I mean, I'd probably start off just playing the campaigns probably with Wargroove, just to use the Caesar, use the doggy and the battle pups or whatever they were called.
Yeah, yeah,
Those are
you can
funny.
use a lot of battle pups. Battle pups are good. Caesar, I don't know if Caesar is featured that heavily in the campaign, but I think Caesar shows up. Caesar shows up.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely
I mean,
recommend the campaign. The campaign's a lot of fun. It's really good.
yeah. It's definitely on my list of games that I need to play.
Are you
Um.
planning on playing the first game first or just jumping into the second game?
Well, I was planning on just doing the first and then the second, just for like the sake of I don't know, continuity or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Okay.
starting.
Then I won't spoil anything.
Okay, okay.
If you were planning on jumping into the second game, I'd give you like a recap of the first game. But yeah, if you're gonna do the first game, I won't say anything.
Yeah, no, that's good. No spoilers, please.
Yep, yep, yep. No spoilers. I might have spoiled Mercival, but
No, it's fine, it's fine.
well,
But yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to try to guess the tiers.
yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. I mean, you were so close. Like you were like even the community is still debating on some things. I think you were incredibly spot on. Like your tier list was really close. There were a few outliers like Mercia, but for the
Yeah,
most part, for the most part, I think you got everyone within one tier of where they're supposed to be.
I put Mercy at tier S.
Yeah,
She's tier C.
yeah. Mercival, Mercia, and Elodie but everyone else was really close. Everyone else was like one tier away or exactly right. Like Rhomb, I didn't know what to think when you started with Rhomb and you were like top of C tier, and I was like, wow,
I
what's
was
this?
cheating. But yeah, I mean, thanks a lot for having me. It's been a lot of fun and a nice introduction to Wargroove. It's been cool to know a little bit of the mechanics as well. Kind of reminded me of my wants to play the game. So yeah, thanks for having me here. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a pleasure having you. And if you want to do an outro, post your YouTube in the chat. Feel free.
I mean, I don't know how to do outros. Just
Oh, you don't have to. You
if
don't have to. I just want to give you the option.
if you like Advanced Wars, if you like turn-based strategy, go check out my channel. It's Humita dash AWBW. Yeah, there's just a lot of replay analysis of games, tournaments, some guides as well. But yeah, just thank you so much for having me. It's been fun. And thanks to the evil penguin, the sneaky penguin that arranged for this whole thing. I don't think we mentioned it at all.
Right.
It was Go7 that kind of moved around his like puppeteer little strings. I was like, you guys should do a stream together to do this tier thing.
Yeah,
I was
shout
like,
out
okay,
to
I mean, it sounds like fun.
major shout out to Go7 for arranging this for anyone who didn't know. That's a good point. We were manipulated by the king of the penguins, Go7, into doing this.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it from me. So again, just thanks for having me, and I hope everyone enjoyed. And you know, I'll see you over at my channel, or I don't know, whatever. I'm not good with outro, sorry.
That's all right. All right, welcome to Wargroove, everyone. I hope you had fun. Check out their channel. If this goes on YouTube, I'll try to put the link in the description, and as well as Go7's, because they're the evil mastermind behind all this. That's all for now, and welcome to Wargroove 2.